Now you mentioned that like the older millennials, their parents were the baby boomers,
Yeah.
and the younger millennials are Generation X. So, I mean, most people know that baby boomers were instilled with that hard work ethic. What is it about Generation X that the younger millennials don't have that?
Yeah, and again, it's so, to draw the line is so kind of fuzzy, but I think a key distinction to remember is we know the baby boomers came out starting in 1946. We know when their generation was defined. There was a hard line on that one for the baby boomers. But more than likely, they also came out of the parents of the Great Depression, or they came out of the greatest generation, I should say. So you have the grandparents being from the greatest generation, you have the parents being the baby boomers, and then you have the older millennials. And so I think there's that hard work ethic that is kind of passed down. Now, you otherwise have the silent generation who had the Generation X and then the younger millennials. So Gen X, I mean, I rag on them a lot because of some of the things I see the products that they've had. And this isn't to say that, baby boomers are great, because we all have our faults, everyone does. But the Generation X, some call them the bust generation. Some call them, the kids who were kind of the slackers in high school, and they grew up with the grunge era, and they didn't really care. They were kind of fun, but they didn't really put forth any effort. But what you see now is they actually are the generation that have a lot of entrepreneurs, which would be a great thing for the country. The issue that is coming from that I see at least, is that they're entrepreneurs, so they maybe just turn around and give their kids what they want, instead of instilling like, hey, here's how I picked up my bootstraps and I made it and I made this business. They're just giving it to their kids instead of having the kids really work for it. And so I see a definite distinction between people who are the older millennials, the ones who actually had parents from the baby boom generation, versus parents who are in the Generation X, and I see it across the board from a lot of different socioeconomic status. There's key distinctions with it that you can tell.